Have you got core values that work like magnets? Most business people, entrepreneurs, professionals talk about building trust and relationships, but few understand the hidden force that makes some businesses naturally attract ideal clients and ideal referral partners while others struggle. And that force isn't your elevator pitch, your marketing budget, or even your track record. It's something simpler, more powerful, and often misunderstood. Authentic core values that actually guide your decisions. Hi everyone, this is Steve Black with Let's Talk Referrals. If you walk into nearly any business office, you'll find core values displayed somewhere. A list of core values printed on a poster, featured on the website, tucked into an orientation packet. Words like integrity, innovation, excellence, and teamwork appear with predictable regularity. And they look professional, they sound inspiring, but they actually accomplish nothing. The really harsh truth is that most core values are generic buzzwords chosen because they sound good, not because they reflect how the business actually operates. They become wallpaper that everyone ignores while making real decisions. And when a tough choice arrives, when money gets tight, or when an uncomfortable situation demands action, these posted values provide zero guidance. And this gap between your stated values and actual behavior isn't just embarrassing, it could actually damage trust. Clients, employees, referral partners, they all notice when our actions contradict our proclaimed principles, and each mismatch erodes credibility and makes people question whether they can rely on you. There's another way to approach values, one that turns these empty words into the most practical business tool you possess. The first mistake we make is treating values like a marketing project. We sit down to brainstorm aspirational terms that will impress potential clients or make them sound progressive. The result is a list of borrowed words that have no connection to how you actually think and operate. Our effective values work differently. They aren't invented, we discover them. What this means is actually looking honestly at the principles already guiding your current decisions, often with conscious awareness. These beliefs typically originate from your personal experiences, your background, the lessons that shape how you approach your work. The task isn't to create impressive sounding concepts, it's to identify and articulate what's already driving you and your choices. In this discovery process, it matters because authenticity is the foundation of everything else. Values only become powerful when they're real, when they reflect genuine beliefs, rather than some aspirational fiction. They become something you can actually use. Now think about the decisions you've made in your business. Which ones felt right even when they cost you money or opportunities? Which choices would you make again regardless of the outcome? These moments reveal your actual values, the principles you won't compromise even under pressure. Most of us think of values as passive ideals, from something that exists in the background while real business considerations drive decisions. And I think this perspective misses their most practical application. Because when you have clearly defined, authentic values, they become active standards that simplify your choices. They function as a filter. You can measure any potential action against your values and immediately rule out options that contradict them. And this will accelerate decisions, it eliminates confusion about the right path forward. You think about businesses that may have violated their proclaimed values when faced with difficult choices. A company claiming customer-first values that cuts corners on quality to save money. Or a professional preaching integrity who manipulates facts to close a deal. These contradictions destroy trust far more completely than having no stated values at all. For professionals building referral-based businesses, this decision-making clarity becomes especially valuable. You face constant judgment calls about which opportunities to pursue, which partnerships to form, which clients to accept, and how to handle countless situations that have no obvious right answer. Your clear values will eliminate that paralysis that these ambiguous situations create. A lot in the business world, especially nowadays, and I hate to use the term because businesses have been going around for a long time, but we as a small business owner, we celebrate flexibility. Small businesses are able to be able to change and pivot and go in a different direction if things don't work. It's a lot harder for larger companies to do that. Let's say this pivot has become a virtue. Adaptability gets praised as the ultimate competitive advantage, and while responding to changing circumstances really matters, there's equal power in what doesn't change. And your core values are constant. They don't shift based on market conditions, economic pressure, or temporary challenges. They provide stability when chaos surrounds you. A business with a genuine core value of maintaining quality standards doesn't suddenly cut corners on materials during a recession. A professional who truly values direct communication doesn't start hiding bad news when a client relationship gets difficult. And the external situation may change, but the principle itself remains fixed. This consistency creates several powerful advantages for you and your business. First, it forges a distinct identity. See, in crowded markets with competitors who all sound similar, your principles make you memorable. People can predict how you'll act because they understand what drives you. Second, it builds trust over time. Consistency is trust's foundation. When people watch you make the same types of choices across different situations, when they see your principles remain steady under pressure, they develop confidence that you'll continue acting that way in the future. And it provides internal stability. Running a business means navigating constant uncertainty. Markets shift, technology changes, competition evolves. Having these fixed values creates an anchor that keeps us grounded when everything else moves. You always know which direction is north. Some of the mistakes we make is thinking that we must compromise our values to succeed, that sticking to principles will cost us opportunities, and the opposite is true. The businesses people trust are the ones known for their unwavering consistency, even when it's inconvenient or hard. And values do more than guide our internal decisions. They actively attract the people who share those principles while repelling those who don't. It's an unseen thing. You just know when something feels right. And this magnetic effort, this magnetism, is one of their most valuable functions. When you clearly communicate your authentic values, you send a signal. Potential clients, referral partners, employees who resonate with those principles move towards you. Those who don't move away. This isn't a problem. It's precisely what you want. The conventional approach to business development treats everyone as a potential opportunity. Cast a wide net, appeal to the broadest audience. Avoid anything that might limit your market, and this strategy creates exhausting misalignments. Working with people who don't share your values requires constant energy. They're hard work. You've got to explain yourself repeatedly. You've got to navigate conflicts that shouldn't exist. Maybe you even have to compromise on things that matter to you. Every interaction feels harder than it should. And when your values align, the opposite happens. Communication flows naturally, decisions happen faster, trust develops more quickly. You experience that rare sensation of working with people who just get it without lengthy explanations. When you have a selective approach, every employee will reinforce the same culture. Customers who value this environment become fiercely loyal. Those who prefer a different experience choose a different alternative. And the result is a self-reinforcing ecosystem where everyone involved shares the same principles. Your customers, your referral partners, your employees. When you're building referral networks, this magnetic quality becomes especially powerful. Your values don't just attract direct clients. They attract referral partners who operate the same way. When you're known for specific principles, people with those same values actively want to work with you. They refer clients knowing the experience will reflect well on them. They trust you to treat referrals appropriately because your values align. And the most effective networkers, they're not trying to connect with everyone. They're building deliberate communities of people who share their principles and naturally support each other because of that alignment. Now, understanding these truths is valuable. Applying them transforms how your business operates. The trick is to start with discovery, not invention. It's not really a trick, it's to think about it, right? Start with discovery. Set Set aside time for honest reflection. Don't ask what values sound good or what principles you should have. Ask what values you already demonstrate through your actions. Look at some of the difficult decisions you've made. What choices did you make even when they cost you something? Which principles have you refused to compromise regardless of pressure? Which actions have you taken that others questioned but you felt completely right about? Also, consider situations where you felt uncomfortable or conflicted. Often these can reveal moments when circumstances pushed you towards actions that contradicted your actual values. The discomfort itself is information about what matters to you. Talk to people who know how you operate. Clients, colleagues, employees often see patterns you miss. Ask them what principles they think guide your decisions. Their observations frequently reveal consistency you didn't consciously recognize. The goal is to create a short list of 3 to 5 genuine core values that already drive your behavior. These should feel true immediately. If a potential value requires you to become somewhat different or change how you operate, it's not a real core value, it's an aspiration. Then you've got to make them specific, concrete, specific. Right? Generic values like integrity or excellence sound meaningful but provide very little practical guidance. And let's be honest, everyone can claim these. They're just too broad to actually direct decisions. Effective values are specific enough to rule things out. They would create boundaries, they create markers, they make some options clearly wrong even if they're profitable or convenient. Instead of integrity, you might define a value as always telling clients the full truth even when it costs us business. Instead of excellence, you might specify, we only deliver work we're genuinely proud of regardless of deadline pressure. You notice how these specific versions immediately guide your decisions. The first tells you exactly what to do when you spot a problem with your service. The second tells you how to respond when a client demands faster work that would compromise quality. Specific values make it easier to explain your principles to others. When someone understands the concrete meaning behind your values, they can predict how you act and determine whether your approach aligns with theirs. And once you've defined your authentic values, you can put them to work immediately. You can make them the first filter for every significant or important decision. A potential client relationship looks profitable. Check it against your values. Will working with this person require compromising your principles? If yes, then the answer is no, you don't want the client, regardless of the money involved. A partnership opportunity appears attractive. Evaluate whether the partner shares your core values. Misaligned partnerships create constant friction and usually end badly. Aligned partnerships feel easy and naturally generate referrals. A marketing strategy promises results. Assess whether the approach reflects your values. Marketing that contradicts your principles might generate leads, but they'll be the wrong leads. People who expect something you won't deliver. This filtering discipline prevents problems before they start. It also reinforces your values by demonstrating to yourself and others that you actually use them. Each time you make a values-based decision, especially one that costs you something, you strengthen your reputation for consistency. The least effective way to establish your values is announcing them. Posting them on your website or telling people about your principles accomplishes little. Many businesses with impressive stated values violate them regularly. Words are cheap. Your values become known through consistent actions over time. People observe patterns. They watch how you handle difficult situations. They notice which principles you maintain under pressure. This means you must live your values visibly. When you make a values-based decision, explain the reasoning. When you turn down an opportunity because it contradicts your principles, say so. When you choose the harder path because it aligns with your values, make that connection clear. Stories are particularly powerful for communicating your values, the decisions you made and why you made them, the opportunities you declined and what mattered more, the principles you maintained when it cost you something. These narratives demonstrate your authenticity in ways that declarations cannot. Your values also come through in small, consistent behaviors. How you treat service workers, how you respond when someone makes a mistake, how you handle situations when no one is watching. These moments reveal character and either reinforce or contradict the values you claim. Here's what makes this whole thing powerful, this approach. Most of your competition won't do this work. They'll come up with a list of generic values, post them on the website, and ignore them while making decisions. They'll chase every opportunity regardless of a fit. They'll say whatever seems likely to close a deal. And this creates an opportunity for you. If you're willing to discover, define, and consistently demonstrate your authentic values in a marketplace full of generic promises and inconsistent behavior, these genuine principles make you remarkable. The businesses people trust aren't necessarily the biggest, the cheapest, or even the most skilled. They're the ones known for unwavering consistency. The companies and professionals who always act in a predictable way because clear principles guide them. The relationships where you never wonder about motivations because values are transparent. And this trust translates directly into referrals. People refer business to professionals they can predict. When someone understands your values, they can confidently recommend you knowing that you'll treat their referral appropriately. They don't worry about surprises or embarrassment because your principles ensure a consistent behavior. Values make your network self-reinforcing. As you build relationships with people who share your principles, those connections naturally support each other. Your referral partners don't just send you business. They model similar values in their own work, creating an ecosystem where everyone benefits from the alignment. And this leads to the most important question you can ask about your business. If you faced a difficult decision today, would your core values provide a clear and immediate answer? If the answer is yes, you have real values that function as practical tools. If the answer is no, or you're not too sure, you either have poorly defined values or you've borrowed words that don't actually reflect how you operate. The goal isn't perfection here. Even with clear values, some decisions remain difficult, but authentic core values should eliminate entire categories of choices, ruling out paths that contradict your principles regardless of potential benefits. They will also attract specific people while repelling others, creating natural alignment with clients and partners who operate the same way. And they should be evident in your actions over time, demonstrating a consistency that builds trust. Most professionals, most entrepreneurs never do this work. They treat values as an afterthought, something to post on a website to check a box. They make decisions based on immediate circumstances without considering whether their choices reflect consistent principles. That creates your opportunity. In markets crowded with competitors who all sound similar, authentic values make you different. Not different in some manufactured marketing way, different in substance, different in ways people can observe and verify through your actions over time. The businesses people trust most aren't trying to appeal to everyone. They're clear about what they stand for, consistent in demonstrating those principles and willing to sacrifice opportunities that don't align. That clarity and consistency is what makes them magnetic to the right people. Your values are already guiding your decisions, whether you've articulated them or not. The question is whether you'll discover them, define them clearly, and use them deliberately as a competitive advantage they become. This is Steve Black with Let's Talk Referrals. Thanks for listening.